Hi everyone, I'm Edyta from Laundry Basket Quilts, and I am so thankful that you took the time and wanted to visit with me. Guess what? It's Thursday and our live show is on. I'm so excited for you today. Yes, we're still making star quilts. Remember, we did triangles, we did squares, we did log cabins with strips, and last week we talked about a lot of fun star quilts, and all of them were made with diamonds. Today I brought a few other quilts for you because stars in quilts are not only made with diamonds. Sometimes they're made with half square triangles, squares, and all other different options. So this is gonna be fun. If you are excited about stars, I have a beautiful book called Patches of Stars, and this book is all about stars. Stars as a layout, stars as a sashing, fun technique, all these amazing, beautiful quilts. There's 17 patterns in it, and if you're looking for a good star pattern, I recommend that one. Some of the quilts that I'm gonna show you today are from our Patches of Blue book, your favorite, and yes, you heard it on this live show. I am working on a second blue and white book. Oh, it is going to be amazing. You will truly have a cabin fever of blue quilts. So that's the next one that is going to be coming out. Be patient. I think November, December, we will have the new book. If you want to just try a little bit of stars, I pulled this book out, 32 patterns in it, and this one calls Little Handful of Scraps. And in this book, you can find small projects like this one. This is a block from the quilt that I showed you last week. Remember this beautiful stars upon stars? You were so excited about it. A lot of you ooh and ah over it. They're just beautiful, beautiful blocks in it. And this is a gorgeous quilt. But like I said, if you're a little wary about big project, the Little Handful of Scraps have smaller star project in it. Enough teasing. I think we need to get right to it, and I am so excited for you today because I not only have prepared a beautiful star quilts for you today, but I also promised you last week that I'm gonna show you how to match fabrics. So I brought some things to show you how to match different fabrics and what I look for when I'm making blocks and how I match different colors and patterns and all the fun stuff. So on the top, I have one of my favorite antique quilts, and of course it is just an 8-point star, just simple and elegant. Notice how beautiful the center are. A majority of the centers are in red. It ties the color together and it really gives you a gorgeous burst of color. The strips on this one are just 1-inch finish. This is a beautiful quilt, all set in a light background, hand quilted in Baptist pen. It is just beautiful. I love the quilting on it because it just gives that softness feel to it, and the pink accent, perfect for spring. I know you're seeing red. When I pull this quilt away, I had to bring this quilt for you just to prove you that not always stars are made with diamonds. Look at this beauty. This is a quilt top. This is an antique quilt. It's just a quilt top, and this is just a tiny temple block. It's like a half a diamond without a tip, and it just makes beautiful, beautiful, beautiful stars. I love this quilt top. I have been asked, do you, what do you do when you get an antique quilt top? I usually don't do much to it. I don't quilt it. I leave it as it is. This one, notice it has a little hole right here. I just admire, love it, and I display it through my house. I think it's perfect to have it on a chair, on a cupboard, just to bring that beautiful color. This one truly is damaged, so notice the hole right here. But I just love the design and this pattern in this quilt, and I had to get it to have it as a part of my collection of scrappy quilts. I love this. And now, oh, perfect, the dandelion yellow. Isn't that beautiful? Look at this. like I said, not always stars are diamonds. This one is simple sawtooth star. This one is one of my favorite stars in quilting, and this is another antique quilt. Notice the gorgeous yellow background, just a scrappy star, and you can make this quilt with our Quilter's Dozen box. You know, those boxes that all the fabrics are pre-cut in it, all of your pieces. Oh, we just got the rainbow one that is just amazing. So can you imagine a just bunch of really cute rainbow blocks through it, and then have a beautiful background of your choice, maybe a pink one, maybe a yellow one, perfect for spring, or maybe really settle down a taupe like I used it for this quilt. So the background really sets the mood for your stars and for your quilt to show off how much they glow. Look at this quilt. This one looks trail, the name is Trail Mix, and this one has star as like a setting to the center of a block. This is 16 points to that star. Those are 8-point star diamonds, so 45-degree diamonds right here, but there's 16 points into it. Isn't that just beautiful? Our lesson of squares, triangles, and diamonds, strips, all slowly are coming together into one trail mix of scrappy pieces. But look at it, if you just think about one piece at a time, you learn how to make 4 patches, you learn how to make half square triangles, you learn how to make a scrappy panel and then cut diamonds out of it. You slowly growing in quilting, and you can create awesome quilts like this where you put all your skills all together. I'm really happy with this quilt, and I enjoy looking at it because it does show my journey in quilting from simple pieces to something more difficult. And notice I have been asked about color, how I tie the colors together. Notice the blue right here, the blue right here, and blue right here. Even that I'm using scrap, I cluster my blues to anchor some of the scrappiness and craziness in this quilt. And again, the background that I use is more settle, a little bit darker, and it really pulls the color back. So that one is just a jewel, and I brought this one because I wanted to show you that whole combination of different pieces. Back to 8-point star, but this one and diamonds, this is not just 8-point star, this is a double 8-point star. So we have gone with the diamonds twice around. I add a little bit of applique in the center, reverse prairie points in the border, and this is machine quilted by Jamie Wallen, and I just love this quilt. It's small, it's perfect, and I love pulling it out in the spring to display. Another quilt from our Patches of Stars book is this one, and this I brought it because it's a star, but instead of a full diamond you only have a half a diamond and you have an octagon in the center. This is perfect to display some awesome fabric and showcase those. And this quilt is made from 2 collections, the Crystal Farm and Blue Sky collection. Don't you think that sometimes when you look at it into the sky, you see some beautiful star? When I look at this quilt, it just glows of points and star images to me. Look at how beautiful it is. This one is cut with template and traditional piecing. There is no paper piecing to this one. It's just sewing point to point using templates and marking templates. Visit my YouTube channel for a class that I teach on how to mark with templates and how to sew those pieces together, and just how to use templates. This has been so much fun, and I love the combination of batiks and traditional fabric into one beautiful quilt. I love this quilt. The machine quilting on it is stunning. My friend Julie Lillo did this one for me long time ago. And there it is, our gorgeous shooting star. Did you ever try this block? If you have not, you must do it. It is amazing. It's so easy. I'm telling you, you have to try it. Look at our YouTube channel on Shooting Star. You cut your pieces with templates, you sew your points. It's similar to a Dresden blade. It's just a little bit bigger tip. You set in additional light fabric in between, and you get that extra glow and a look of a diamond, when right here there is no diamonds, it's just Dresden blades. And then applicate to the background, and voila, you have a shooting star. This is a beauty. Oh, and I love that border fabric on that one. It is just so colorful and beautiful. If you love stars, I have to bring you back to one of my favorites, that simple sawtooth star. You can't go wrong. I mean, you can't go wrong with this one. I love making them, to the point that I created an Irish chain with it. Oh, and by the way, happy St. Patrick's Day yesterday. So I hope you had fun. Can you imagine those stars in greens and light and all these other fun colors? This would be a beautiful quilt. Sawtooth star many times repeats and glows in through my quilts. Another one that has a sawtooth star is Illuminate, and notice this time the star is light. The backgrounds of my star is the dark fabric, and I used all different linen texture and arranged this one in a rainbow arrangement. I quilted this one myself, and I used the designs for the center to get a really nice design in the middle, because it was very plain. Then I add some orange peels right here, and another design for the corners. Oh, and a beautiful, did you notice this border? It is just beautiful. My leftovers rainbow pieces made the binding for this beauty. Oh, it is delightful. I love the lightness of this quilt. The Habs beddings that I recommended to you, I use it in this one, and it is just perfect. It just feels good. It's light, it folds nice, it hangs beautiful. If you accidentally made too many sawtooth stars, they are perfect for borders. And I just recommended to you, remember the bigger one from our Quilter's Dozen box for the border on our winter village, or the mini winter village? Look at how beautiful the stars look here. And in the center, you have one giant 8-point star, and I threw an applique over the 8-point star just to give an extra beautiful images to it. So this one is in a book, Patches of Blue, and wow, what a beauty. And you probably wonder about the one behind me, another one, 8-point star, and you probably fear this one, but don't you? Look at this. When you're making your diamonds, make just small section, another section. This and this sections are the same. There are 3 right here. So start thinking about your star that way. Do not look at the whole picture, little bit at a time. And you know that sawtooth star, when you crinkle your eyes and think about it, feather star is just a larger version of a sawtooth star. Notice the 8 points going out, you have triangles. This is a beauty. One star is made with 1 fat quarter. So if you think about it, for this quilt, 16 beautiful fat quarters in any color, you will have a gorgeous quilt. Just beautiful. The better fabric you choose, big print. Mine is in blue and white because I love those blue and white quilts, but you can pretty much use anything you would like. And we will talk about just in a few minutes about our how to pick fabrics. Another lovely feather star, and this one is an antique one. I slip one of the antique quilts in between some of the ones that I'm making because this one fits just perfectly here. I love the feather star made with the half square triangle. Look at how different this one is. This is unusual to have a little bit more extra half square triangle, and I love the pink in the center and pink around. Look at how it holds it down and ties it down and anchors some of the craziness and scrappiness in this quilt. The feather star became, oh, I'm pulling all the quilts with me. The feather star became the center of attention for this beautiful quilt. This one calls Mistletoe. And I love this quilt because of the medallion layout, touches of applique in a center and in a border, but there's another block here called Ohio Star. So we talk about 8-point star, we talk about subtle star, but look at this Ohio Star, how pretty and delightful. And I tell you, you can't go wrong with these cute little stars. They are just stunning. They are made with quarter square triangles right here. Subtle star is half square triangle and flying geese units. Ohio Star is quarter square triangles. So all of those beautiful Ohio stars are floating around the medallion of Feather Star. And you know, soon enough, it's gonna be time to start making your quilts for Memorial Day weekend and 4th of July. So I wanna finish today with this beauty called Perfect Union. A little bit of Ohio stars, strips going right with it, and there you go. You have a beautiful, beautiful quilt. I just love this one, and I am so thankful my dear friend Debbie shared this with me so I can share it with you girls. Absolutely love it. But enough talking about quilts. I hope you enjoyed it and now you inspire. Let's talk about how to match fabric, and I saved this for the end because I thought you would wait patiently and wanted to learn with me. Before I go into choosing fabric, I wanted to answer one question. I have been asked two of my favorite rulers. They're from Creative Grids, 4.5 by 12.5, and this one is 6.5 by 18.5. So those are two that I highly recommend for cutting. So those are two of my favorites, because when you're cutting a lot of diamonds and strips and things like that, you want to have two good rulers to do that. And remember, make sure you measure it right, measure twice, cut once. That's the goal. All right, let's talk about matching fabrics. The best way to create a wonderful quilt is to get a collection, because somebody's done the work for you already. When I design my collection, I pay attention to the rule of 5: big print, medium print, small print, stripe, polka dot. I have used that rule of 5 for many, many years, from the beginning when I start quilting. What that means is, I use a big print in my blocks, in my design, in my quilts. I made sure when I'm picking up fabric, I have a big print. In this big print, you can see many different colors. Look at, I have reds, navies, all the beautiful leaves, all the wonderful clues that now I can pull onto it and start matching with it. So when I need another fabric to go with it, I look at for a clue. Oh, I see this beautiful blue. Notice it. So I'm gonna go ahead and find a blue. I don't want another big print. I want something different. And in this case, I found this fabric that has a little stripe on it. Notice it has lines on it. So I have pulled this blue, brought it right here, and I have a stripe, and notice the navy goes back into this. Another clue, it's a red. Let's add to the stash. Oh, I need a medium print. This medium print, notice I have now a perfect red that matches. The red has a little blue polka dot. The blue polka dot matches with this and matches with this. I'm doing good. I'm going there. So remember, when you're picking your pieces, pay attention to the colors from your big print, but also pay attention what you're picking out. If I pick a stripe, I don't want another stripe here. I want a medium print. I have a big stripe, medium print. It's time for a small print. I'm gonna pick this pink, because guess what? I can see some pink right here, and I have a lot of pinks right here. So I'm tying this back together, and you know, pink and blue is so beautiful together. You have to try. Now it's time for a polka dot, and polka dot could be anything with a tiny little smidgen of color and little dots or big dots. And here I picked this one because it has a pink, it matches here, it has the dark, it matches back here, and it just complements everything that I'm doing. So remember, rule of 5: big print, medium print, small print, some kind of stripe, some kind of polka dot. And by saying stripe, it could be vines, like I have it here with leaf. By polka dot could be little gingham or bigger polka dot, anything you wanted to. Just remember, look at the clues and bring them back and forth. So that's for today, for answering this question on how to color coordinate your quilts. But to save you time, remember, purchase our fabric. I got you. I have it all color coordinate, and we just got those brand new bundles, and those are from Secret Stash. You have the Secret Stash Warm, Secret Stash Naturals, and we just got layer cakes, charm packs, and jelly rolls on our website. So go to laundrybasketquilts.com and you will find those wonderful fabrics right there. Now I'm gonna ask Erin if there is any questions for today.
Did have a few.
Wonderful. There are a few questions.
How do you decide what is an antique quilt?
Oh, that's a really good question. So for me, antique quilts, anything that is older, around 1930s and older than that. Those are the antique quilts that I collect. I don't consider grandma's antique quilts, even that they're quite old, because they're grandma's quilts.
This is a great question about best press.
Yes.
When using best press, will it shrink my fabrics?
So anytime you put a little moisture and a little bit steam into your fabric, the fabric shrinks just gently. Not as much as a shrink as you pre-wash it. But yes, best press, any moisture, even sometimes when I put a fabric and I just steaming, I can see a tiny bit. It's not much, but when you're picky like me, you notice it. So yes, I would say a tiny bit. Remember, with best press, I must help you with this. When you're pressing your fabric, you wanted to place your fabric from a wrong side up. You gently spray it with best press and you let it sit for a few minutes. Don't grab an iron and right away iron it, because it goes right to the iron. Anything good that was in best press goes into the iron. You want it to soak into your fabric, and I only spray it very gently. I don't like soak my fabrics in best press. So remember that. And also, if you spray it from the back, the fabric looks much better on the front.
What is the most used flying geese ruler?
For me, because I do a lot of flying geeses right now with my Quilter's Dozen 1.5 by 3 is one that I absolutely love it. I think it's a really nice size for beginner, advanced. I love that one. I recommend it.
We have a great question from Lisa, who actually sent us an email this morning.
Hello, Lisa. It's so good to hear from you. Okay.
She's doing the Miss Daisy quilt, new pattern, and she was looking for any advice on reducing the bulk at the center of the block.
Perfect. And you know, I'm working on a video to show you how I made my Miss Daisy. So that's going to be very helpful. But already ahead, what I do is I put my circle and then I gently cut out the center. I piece it all to the middle completely, applicate my circle and gently cut out. So if you're planning to do fusible applique, you could gently cut the circle out before you fuse that the circle that it covers, because you know, when you use a fusible, you would have been fusing right to it, so it would be harder to remove it. But for hand appliquers, easy. You hand applique, then remove it from the back.
Last question for today. When making any pattern, if she's wanting to know, can she cut all of the pieces for a block a little bit bigger and then trim them down? And does that work for any shape?
No. So it works just for some blocks. It doesn't work for everything. So you have to be careful with doing that, because sometimes it throws you off and your blocks almost like ruffle and lay because you're trying to fit the fabric. I'm more into cutting what you need and then piecing point to point. That's a hard one to take care, to do it. I myself, I cut what I need and then sew it, and try to really pay attention to my 1/4 inch seam allowance. There are some blocks, like for example, this kind of block, a stars, where I had extra on the outside and I trimmed it. Those were bigger pieces, but I'm just thinking, my brain is going like, but would I want to make those pieces larger? No, because it would be throwing me off as I'm sewing my blocks into the row. And notice, how would you adjust the center? You know, you cut exactly, you know, so there's such a, I prefer cut and sew, cut exactly. And so make sure that when you're cutting, you're paying attention that your ruler lays on a fabric and the line on your ruler is on your fabric. It's not next to the fabric. So automatically you're not cutting all your pieces smaller. So always paying attention to your cutting. It's important. And of course, pressing your fabrics before, because then you get rid of that shrinkage, anything that it's, you know, that your piece is as close and accurate as possible. Okay, so that was it for today. I hope you enjoyed it. I am looking forward to our next show, live show. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel, thumbs up, and guess what? Tomorrow, visit our YouTube channel. We have a new video coming out on the Kelly quilt, where it's an ocean wave. So many of you have asked me about it, emailed to me, and I put the video together. It's coming out tomorrow. I'm so excited for you. And we're also gonna have a blog matching. We're not going to have a live show next week, only because we're preparing for some amazing big things for you guys. Our block of the month is starting up, and our mystery quilt alone is coming out, and you are going to love this one. So please tune in. Thank you so much for visiting, and make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel and give us thumbs up. Happy quilting!